You want to say hi real quick, Kyle? There you go.
She's graduating a button presser.
Love you.
Bye. Okay, hello. Welcome back to another video of mine. My name's Rachel. This is my book-related YouTube. Sorry if you were looking forward to more ranty, bitchy book reviews. I'm just gonna talk about books in a really normal manner now. I'm doing an unhaul today because I realized that I have been accumulating books, like a lot of books recently, and I need to go through and finally get rid of the ones that I know I'm not gonna keep. I really only have this one big bookshelf and then a smaller bookshelf, so I'm very committed to keeping kind of like a smaller library. I just want to only own books that I know I'm going to reread or books that I've really, really liked. And even if I'm not going to reread them, it feels nice to hold on to them. So let's just get right into it. I have 2 stacks of books here and then a stack of books here. If you want to stick around for the more controversial ones, I'm going to leave them towards the ends, the ones that people actually might be kind of shocked about. The first one's An Unwanted Guest by Sherry Lapina. I bought this at my grocery store because I was kind of craving a thriller and it really didn't do much for me. I gave it like 2 stars because I didn't really care. It wasn't a bad read necessarily, even though it wasn't a good book. I enjoyed reading it, I don't care. I'm never gonna read it again. I didn't give it a good rating in the first place. I don't even know what this book is. Fire in My Eyes. My general manager gave this book to me because I've noticed that a lot of people in my life, once they notice that I like to read, they just pawn books off on me. They're just like, oh, I think you'd like this book, or hey, I have this book. Do you want this book? Or I don't want this book, so I'm gonna give you this book. Don't want this book, I'm not gonna read it. So I'm just going to donate it. That's the other thing too. All of the books that I'm getting rid of, I'm gonna be donating either to my library or to Goodwill when it's safe enough to do something like that. I don't like to throw away books or anything. To the donation pile they go. Next up, we have Since We Fell by Dennis Lehane. I actually really liked this book when I first read it, but I'm trying to get rid of my Book of the Month editions. That's not a commentary on Book of the Month or anything. I just don't like that they have that or that. So if I like the book enough, I'll buy a new copy of it instead of keeping the Book of the Month edition, but I don't actually think I'm gonna rebuy this. I liked it when I first read it, but I can't really see myself reading it again. It takes a really strong like something in a thriller to make me want to reread it. And also it's like a longer thriller. It's 418 pages and I don't have the time. It's funny though because I actually really love Dennis Lehane. He's one of my favorite authors. His books really got me back into reading adult books again in a kind of a weird time in my life. So I have a lot of personal feelings for Dennis Lehane, but I'm still not keeping this book. Next up, we have Fates and Furies by Lauren Groff. Nothing against this book. I tried reading it. I got maybe like 2 chapters in and was just like, the writing's not for me. I just don't care about where the story's going. It's a shame though, because I got this only for $5 at a Goodwill and I love the cover. I don't have very colorful shelves, as you can tell. So anytime I get like a colorful book, I always hope that I'm gonna like it so I can add some color and spruce some things up, but it didn't work, so. So next up is Sharp Teeth by Toby Barlow. I kind of feel bad getting rid of this edition just because it's my dad's, or it was my dad's, but I mean, he let me have it. Nothing against this book either. I liked it when I read it. I gave it about like 3 stars. It's a book told in verse, so it's like poetry. I just am not super interested in the story anymore. It sounded really cool when I read it and it was semi-interesting. It's about werewolves. Not for me anymore. The Sundown Motel by Simone St. James. I hated this book. I think I gave it 2 stars or 1 star even. I really didn't like it. You know, it's another Book of the Month edition that I don't really feel like holding on to anyway, but I didn't like it. I thought it was really bad. I forgot to put my phone on my lap if you guys heard notifications going off. The Late Hector Kippling by David Thewlis. I don't know anything about this book. I brought it from my dad's house when I moved in with my boyfriend and I just wanted to have books to own. I moved from my dad's into my boyfriend's with like 4 personal belongings on me. So I just took this book. I don't have any interest in it though. So Dr. Sleep by Stephen King. I got 30% into this book and then decided that I don't ever want to read this book again. In my eyes, The Shining is a standalone and there is no sequel. And I hated this book. I really, really did. If I had continued reading it, I just would have hated it even more. This is a really nice hardcover edition. And if I gave it away, someone's really gonna be happy to have that and maybe they can actually get this sticker off because I couldn't. Stephen King, why did you write this? Next up, I have 2 books actually by the same author, and that is Lethal White and The Cuckoo's Calling. Maybe The Cuckoo's Calling and then Lethal White because this is the first book in the series. These books are by Robert Galbraith, who is actually J.K. Rowling. I don't want to support J.K. Rowling anymore. I don't want to own anything that she's written besides my Harry Potter book set, and I only have one, and I don't plan on buying any special editions. In fact, I don't plan on buying anything Harry Potter related ever again. This woman will never get my money again, and I hate her. No. Here's a funny one, actually. The Daughter of Sherlock Holmes. I didn't buy this. I actually found it in my laundry room. Like I mentioned in one of my wrap-ups, I got another book from my laundry room. I live in an apartment building with a shared laundry room, and every time I go in there, I check out this little like shelving unit they have in there. People just leave books just for free to take if you want. And I saw this in there and I was like, ooh, that's a pretty cover. And I took it, and I don't actually want to read this. I have no feelings about Sherlock Holmes whatsoever. And I've heard that it reads a lot like fan fiction for the actual BBC Sherlock show. I didn't like that show, so no thank you. Should have organized these better. The next book that I'm getting rid of is Please Don't Go Before I Get Better by Madison Kuhn. This is a poetry collection that my brother's ex-girlfriend gave me, and that's awkward. I also didn't really care about the poetry in here. It was very Instagram poetry. Nothing wrong with that if you like Instagram poetry, or you are an Instagram poet, or you write poetry in this similar vein of like just kind of like pictures and big blocks, and there's no grammar. I hate poetry that doesn't have grammar. Sorry, I said it. Anyway, no thank you. Barbary Station by R.E. Stearns. I picked this up back when I was still buying stuff off of Book Outlet, which I don't support anymore. It was only like $2, I think, but I have since read reviews on Goodreads, and nothing problematic or weird about the book, just bad. It has like a very low rating on Goodreads, I think, actually. So it has a 3.14. I don't like to judge books based on their Goodreads rating, because there's a lot of books that I've loved that have terrible Goodreads reviews and ratings, and a lot of books that I've hated that have great reviews on Goodreads, and I don't know why. But I don't really care about space pirates, if I'm being honest with you. As much as I love the Expanse series, which is a giant space opera, I don't know why I'm trying to justify this. I just don't want this book, and so I'm not keeping it. Contagion by Aaron Bowman. This book represents disappointment to me. This book has the incredible niche plot that I love so much, which is a crew in space goes to save another crew in space, but when they get to that crew in space, shit starts happening that's really scary and really weird. The ending of this book sucks. It sucked a lot, and I didn't like any of the characters, and I just don't have any interest in keeping it anymore because I hated it. I'm never gonna reread it, and there's no one I want to wish this upon. Prince of Fools by Mark Lawrence. I'm getting rid of a Mark Lawrence book. Ooh, I hope his fanboys come and kill me. No, seriously though, I want to give Mark Lawrence more like of an effort, maybe with his Red Sisters trilogy, I think it is. I've heard really good things about that. This is not a book for me. I don't think this is a book for any woman, honestly. If you are a woman and you enjoyed this, I want to know how, because I could not suffer through an entire book of this main character. Which is a shame, because I love tiny little mass market paperback fantasy books. They're so cute. They're adorable to me. Force of Souls by Lori M. Lee. I talked about this in my August wrap-up. I didn't like this book. I gave it 2 stars. I'm not going to be reading the sequel. If I do read the sequel, maybe I'll get it from the library, but I don't think I will, because I didn't even finish this. Like I said in my wrap-up, I read about 300 pages and skimmed the last 100, and I just didn't care. And it's sad, but this is a newer book, and I feel good about donating new books and stuff like that, because a lot of people going to Goodwill or the local library to pick up their free books aren't used to finding brand new, perfect condition hardcover new releases. I feel kind of good about donating this one because I think someone who actually will appreciate the book will find it. Okay, we're about to move on to some juicier ones, which is exciting. I'm gonna start with one it seems juicy, but it's not, but it's City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. I'm actually getting rid of this one because it's damaged. You can't tell really, and I'm not gonna get super and I'm not gonna get super close and fuck up my autofocus, but when Amazon sent this to me, like a huge chunk of the book, all the pages were fused together, and I ripped them apart so I could be like, well, I wanna read this book, but I shouldn't have had to do that. So I contacted them and I was like, give me another book or something, because this is damaged. And because it was during coronavirus times, they didn't even ask me to return it or anything. They just gave me a refund and sent me a brand new book that isn't damaged, so that's pretty cool. I can't wait to read this just because I have major FOMO about the Shadowhunter series. Like, I have major FOMO about the Shadowhunter series. Gracie, you wanna play with your little ball right now? I'm only getting rid of this because it's a damaged copy. Nothing shady or sneaky. I'm thinking of ending things by Ian Reid. I actually didn't hate this book at all. I liked it. I gave it 3 stars, but I'm never gonna reread it. I don't think it did what it came to do. It surprised me. It was weird. I enjoyed my cat's playing with a ball. Why does she always want to play with things when I'm filming? I liked it, but once again, I feel good about donating new releases. Like, I spent my money on this and that makes me kind of sad. Like, I spent money on something that I'm not keeping, but where I live, if you go to our thrift stores, there aren't a lot of new releases or nice conditioned books. It's kind of a lot of like very, very backlist titles, and a lot of them aren't really nice. Like I said, I feel good whenever I donate something that someone will get like real good joy out of. I'm donating Sorcerer of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. I tried with Margaret Rogerson. I read An Enchantment of Ravens. I started this. Her books just aren't for me, and that's okay. We all have different opinions on books. No big deal. This is a really nice addition though. It's perfect. I have touched this book maybe 4 times in the entirety of me owning it. Someone's gonna love finding this for like 50 cents. Maybe it'll be $5, who knows? Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. I hated it. Didn't like it at all. I gave it 3 stars, I think, just because it's not a bad book, but it wasn't a book for me. If I could give it 2 stars, deep in my heart, I would have. So I have no interest in reading the rest of the series. I read the 2nd book and I thought it was only gonna be a trilogy. So I was like, all right, cool. I'll bang out the 3rd book and be done with this series that I don't even like and I don't know why I wanna read it. But no, it's gonna be longer than that. And I have no interest. So it is a really nice paperback though. Floppy. Oh, it's good, but goodbye. All right, I'm on to my last 3 books. The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. I pretty much was like, yeah, I'm gonna DNF this because in like the very first chapter, the love interest that we're supposed to like enjoy rips off Fairy's wings, permanently traumatizing and damaging them for life. And I just don't care. I don't care. And I know that people are like, no, you'll love him by the end. He gets so much better and he's like abused and it's sad. I don't care. I didn't like this. I didn't like where I was heading. I've heard pretty mixed, weird reviews about the 3rd one too, so I'm glad that I'm not picking this up, and I'm just not gonna do it. So my last 2 books, the very end, are probably my most controversial, and that would be The Diviners and Lair of Dreams. I'm getting rid of them. I liked The Diviners well enough. I gave it 4 stars. I thought it was pretty good. I gave Lair of Dreams 3 stars because it's huge with a lot of point of views and a lot of different characters, and I just found myself not really caring that much. I can't see myself really picking up the next books in the series, and if I do, I'm probably gonna get them from the library, but I really just can't see myself doing it. I just don't care. And so unfortunately, I'm gonna be getting rid of them. They're not bad books. They just don't interest me anymore, so RIP. Libba Bray books. Okay, so that's the end. That's the end of my unhaul. I feel really good about getting rid of some of these books, making way for newer books onto my shelves. Like I said, I really only care to keep a smaller collection of books. I mean, smaller according to me, which is still probably like a good 100 books or so. I don't like to hold on to things that I don't really care about or that I don't want anymore. I don't have an ending for this, and my boyfriend's not over there to laugh at me, and I can't give him a thumbs up and be really quirky and weird. I did it anyway, though. So anyway, that's the end. I hope you stick around for more content from me. I hope that you've been enjoying the content from me. Please leave a comment and subscribe or like or do anything, even if it's just linking your own videos, because I want my subscription box to be nothing but small content creators, because those are the content creators that I like to watch. What a long outro. See you guys later. Bye.